So this is Griffon. It was built by B&M, which is Voyager and Maviar. It's a Swiss company. They also built two other rides here, Alpengeist and Apollo's Chariot. So they're known for being very smooth, pretty high coasters. All right, so we're going to go over some Coaster 101 first. So on every coaster we have three wheels. So the top wheel up here is our road wheel, so it always rides on top. Then we have our side wheel, which is our guide wheel, and it rides on the side, does what it says, guides it along the track. And then we have our bottom wheel, which is the upstop wheel, and it does what it says, keeps it from going up off the track. All right, so there's always three wheels on every coaster. Nowadays we have our wheels on the outside because we learned it's going to give a smoother ride and it's going to hug the track. Whereas Loch Ness, if you guys look at the track, you'll notice there's ribs on the outside, so there can't be a wheel on the outside because it's going to run into that rib. So the wheels are on the inside, but back then, when it was built in the 1970s, that's the only thing you get. So that's why it's a little more rough. All right? So another thing we're going to talk about here is brakes. So we have three different types of brakes on this coaster. So we have our regular air brakes, which is our pneumatic brakes. We have our magnetic brakes, and then there's one other one. There's a few people that might know the answer to this one. Does anybody know?
Rabbits. Electric.
Nope, it's actually the water brake. So the train actually goes through a pond over on the other side. And there's funnels on the back of the train that actually dig into the water, and that actually creates a braking mechanism. So we cannot run this ride without that pond to have that braking mechanism. So that's why we don't run this during Christmas time, because if the water freezes, we can't run this ride. There's also temperature settings to every coaster as well. All right? So the pneumatic brakes are going to hug right here. We're going to squeeze here. Then we have these fins right here. That's where the magnetic brakes go. And then obviously we have the funnels in the back. All right? And you guys see all this hardware over here? We have a few things here. So when you guys go up a lift on a coaster, you hear that clickety-clack. That's normal. That's not meaning the coaster's old or anything. A lot of people get confused with that. That's what we call the anti-rollback system. So there's little teeth on the side, and we have little notches that go into the teeth, and they kind of engage as they go up. So that's the clicking you're hearing. So if for some reason something would happen and the chain would stop, you're not going to roll backward. You're just going to sit on that track. So we have the anti-rollbacks here, and this is they bang as they go up. Another thing we have on the train is called a chain dog. So this is what engages into the lift to bring you up on the chain. So it's right here. This one grabs onto the chain. It engages and pulls you up the lift. There's another one back here, and this one is for the drop. So I don't know if you guys know, some of you guys know this, that this is a dive coaster. So at the drop, at 205 feet, you're going to actually hang over the drop. So as you slowly go over, this is what's engaging into the chain, and the chain slowly pulls you over, and when it's ready to release, it accelerates you forward, and that's what releases you. So you actually never stop. A lot of people think you stop, you never stop. All right, so you're just slowly tilting over, and then you accelerate over. You guys also notice how many seats are across? 10. So there's 30 people on a train. So when we decided to build this coaster, we went to B&M and we said, hey, we want to build a dive coaster. We want 10 people across, 3 rows of 10. So they came back and they did their calculations, and they said, hey, the train's going to be like a little too heavy. It's not going to make it all the way around. So they went back, did some calculations, and came back and said, hey, why don't we make it floorless? So actually, we did not decide to make it floorless. B&M decided to make it floorless, and that's when we became the world's first floorless dive coaster. So it wasn't intentional. World's floorless dive coaster.
Floorless,
yes.
right, gotcha.
Yes. So it wasn't intentional. It just kind of happened, but then some other people took it away from us after that. All right. So how much do you think this train weighs? In tons.
How much, sir?
How much do you think it weighs in tons?
Metric tons?
Yes. How many?
Metric tons,
It's 9 tons. 9 tons.
Yes,
So one train of Loch Ness, our yellow coaster that was built back in the 70s, is 3 tons. So it takes 3 trains of Loch Ness to equal 1 train of Griffon. Pretty heavy. It shows how heavy these trains are.